Jump into it, huh? So we've got another viewer submission here today that's looking to leverage a card that was recently buffed. So Jagged Taskmaster here, 2 mana, 3/2. That on Plunder, which means you get this effect as you play the card if you dealt damage to your opponent in the turn. Grant 1-cost allies everywhere plus 1 attack. So one of the things that's kind of neat about this card is, one of the things I love about Runeterra in general is that unlike a lot of other games, there isn't really a strict advantage to going first. And there's some decks, and especially certain hands with those decks, that want to be attacking second or attacking on even. So specifically in this shell, your hands where you have Jagged Taskmaster in the opener, you actually want to be attacking on turn 2, so that way on their turn 1, you can play out one of our many 1-drops, and then attack in to start on turn 2, hit them, and then play Jagged Taskmaster with Plunder to get everything bigger. So in addition to having a bunch of 1-cost things here, they are pumped up with Jagged Taskmaster. We have Elise, which summons a 1-cost Spiderling. So these will get bigger from Jagged Taskmaster's Plunder trigger. And then at the top end of our curve, we're playing Twisted Fate as just a good value/interactive card, as well as Zap Sprayfin here, because Zap draws us a spell out of our deck when it comes into play. So Zap is always drawing us card advantage. We've got Stalking Shadows, Pick a Card, and Faded Memories here to pull out of the deck with Zap. And then we've got some salvages to draw extra cards. And pick a Card really seems excellent in this shell, because, you know, you look at the curve of our deck, we're playing a ton of 1s for the Jagged Taskmaster, and our curve in general is pretty low, so you could pick a card, you know, as early as turn 4 and probably play all 3 of the cards that you draw on average on turn 5 or 6, where normally we have to wait so much later with pick a card to get that consistency in. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it feels to start. I'm doing well, Queen. Good morning. I don't know that Go Hard is strictly everywhere, Landon. It definitely sees some play, but there's a lot of different decks in the format at the moment. Queue into some Shyvana. Okay, and we are attacking on evens here like we said we wanted to in the event that we had Jagged Taskmaster. I'm pretty sure we just full mulligan looking for our namesake in this deck. How important is mana curve in this game? So, it is important generally to spend your mana in Runeterra, similar to how it's important to spending your mana in Magic and Hearthstone and other games. The thing about Runeterra that's important to recognize, though, is in Runeterra, unspent mana doesn't just go away. So, for example, my opponent's not using their mana here on 1. I'm also not going to use my mana here on 1. But those manas aren't going to go away. They're going to get stored into this spell mana portion on both sides. So, while generally you don't want to let mana get wasted, the fact that you can carry over up to 3 mana across turns for spells later on means that you aren't necessarily strictly playing on curve so much as being resource efficient is important. So the resource system and how you spend your resources in Runeterra has a lot more depth and complexity than most other games like Hearthstone and Magic, because of the ability to bank this spell mana across turns. So this has Fearsome, which means it can only be blocked by things with 3+ attack, so we get to attack past their 1/3 here nicely. So there are some traditional ideas that translate from other games where you want to be spending your mana in Runeterra, but it's not the strict same rigid system that you see in those other games where it's use it or lose it. This is a Jagged Taskmaster Brew Hyper SMB. This is our first of 2 viewer submissions that we were playing this morning. Thanks, ARN. And for people that aren't familiar with my background, before I became a full-time Twitch streamer, I have a master's in mathematics. I spent a number of years working as an adjunct faculty at some colleges in the area where I live, so I have a teaching background, which I think is definitely beneficial to my experience here on Twitch, being able to relay ideas to other people. So, speaking of using mana efficiently, I have to decide exactly how I want to sequence here. I think I'm just going to pull Shark to start, and then probably bank this other 2 mana into next turn, so we have 3 spell mana plus 4 others. I think I want to block here, because putting this to 1 means that red card will be able to kill this down the line. It also means that, like, a 1-attack thing could bump into this, potentially. Yeah, the fact that pick a card is good with our cheap things and also good at flipping Twisted Fate feels good as well. I could also just, like, take it and then, like, open on attacks next turn to push some damage. I don't hate that. I'm just gonna skip blocks for now. It's only 2 points of damage. That's a good one. Huh. So if I play this Elise, there's a good chance they play a big blocker out, so I think I'm just going to open on attacks here. So I don't really want to, like, attack Elise into, like, a Shyvana or their 4/4 Fury. So this hits in the middle here, so we get our Plunder trigger. So this Jagged Taskmaster is going to make all of our friends bigger. Taskmaster does buff the Elite token. This everywhere keyword means even if it's created or summoned later. And the mouse over text there being very good. And we can see here they had that Shyvana, so my electing to start by attacking was good there. And again, the combat in this game, when I first started playing Runeterra, I was expecting the fact that you could only have 6 things on the board to mean the combat would have less depth than games that allow for bigger boards. But the fact that whether you start by attacking or the order of your attackers mattering, all of those little things adding up really makes Runeterra probably have the most depth inside of its combat system than any other game I've played. So we're actually going to play the Feel the Elusive deck that we're going to play second today. Thought name is actually something similar to that idea. I think I'm going to go ahead and pass here. I think they're almost assuredly attacking. If they want to burn my mana, I'm okay with skipping their attack step to burn my mana here. Yeah, there's also the Frozen Mushrooms deck with Sajani and Teemo. So opponent has to decide, do they want to attack or do they want to pass the turn back and end the turn? If they end the turn, they don't get to attack. I'm pretty okay with that exchange. Yeah, they want to attack here, which makes sense. These attacking doesn't really make sense.
Where you going?
Where you going? Soft pass with Fading Memories on Taskmaster. That's a good thought. And I think we actually wanna do that here, right? Getting this bigger seems potentially good. Although I suppose there's some merit to waiting on this and copying Zap Sprayfin with it down the line. Is also worth considering, I think. I think I want to hold this. I also might. I think I'm Twisted Fate plus pick a carding this turn. I think is my play. I think I want to pick a card, ditch this, and then play Twisted Fate as well. I'm gonna do this and pass back as a soft pass. And then we'll Twisted Fate blue card this turn, I think. Get a spell mana back.
Deal me in.
They could have a single combat here to kill him, but if they don't, we're gonna get really close to leveling up. So we're gonna draw 4 cards this turn. And then I get to go ahead and play this Zap, which draws us a card, and then this Salvage levels Twisted Fate.
sunlight guide you, my brethren. Through the coral! Come, face me.
That's pretty good.
I smell fear.
If I fading memories this now, is it silenced, or will it be the base zap? Does anybody know? It is a copy of the base. Okay.
Now this game's heating up.
It doesn't say exact copy. It says create a copy.
Blue as the surface. Excuse me.
Okay, so there's Shyvana's gonna level up here, which is a little scary. Ona's cool. Thank you for the 19 months. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. BM and Ega V, thank you for the follows. I appreciate that. Welcome to the channel.
What's that noise?
So now it's going to be a question of, can we power through this dragon Shyvana with a chainmail on her? So she's got tough permanently. Which is going to be a hard sell here. If we got to keep Twisted Fate in play, we might have been okay, but without Twisted Fate, we might be up a creek here.
History is forged anew.
Yeah. Yeah, so remember, this zap is fleeting, is ephemeral from the fleeting memories. Hello, lovely waif.
That egg, did it move?
Did it move?
There will be ash!
We do have a lot of blockers. You're not wrong. So these both have fury, so they both get bigger if something blocks them.
You have to get me
I think I'm blocking here. So I think we start with Zap and see what we pick up here. They notably cannot Strafing Strike currently. Am I pick-a-carding? I feel like with this draw, I don't necessarily need to pick a card this turn. I think I want to just Poro Crack Shot and then open attacks next turn. Yeah, it could be right to pick a card to dig for Twisted Fate this turn, too. I agree with that.
Let's do this.
Who's got 2 thumbs and dies to Judgment? This guy, right here. Okay. Looking to fade Overwhelm. Yeah, we went really wide that turn. Hey, Inigo, thank you for the 12 months of support. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Get you a sword to go with that shield. Little bit of healing.
What once was 2 now is 1.
That's very good. So this is lifesteal and an elusive blocker. That's great though. Can you not use a Prime Sub on mobile? On the Android app, you can Prime Sub on mobile. On iOS, you cannot. You have to finagle it through your web browser, unfortunately. Apple has some very strict rules about anything involving money on their app and them not getting a cut. Yeah, I think we're pick-a-carding here, and I think we're ditching... Crackshot Corsair. The easiest way to describe my enjoyment of Runeterra is that I've elected to take a pay cut to stream this game over Magic because I just like this game a whole lot more than Magic in its current state. The way Riot manages their game, I also vastly prefer to Magic.
Hey there. Don't mind the night.
As for picking it up, just trying to jump in and watch a stream will be a little bit tough, but Runeterra plays on Android, iOS, and PC, and their tutorial is very top-notch. I would recommend if you're interested in poking at it, just install it on any of those platforms and then play through the tutorial, including their optional extra levels. So they have like kind of a pseudo required tutorial part, but then they also have levels included in there that are extra, that are just kind of like what's the play style puzzles or challenges that teach you the core game mechanics better. I think that those are definitely one of the best ways to jump in. Tolarian Community College also has a how to play video that's like less than 20 minutes. That's well done. Okay, so they're attacking with these. This is why I played this out here. I want to get this straight in. We'll block here. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a combat trick to pump this up here, but I'm pretty pot committed to blocking. We'll put this here and this here. We're at 6, obviously. There aren't any quick or burst speed overwhelm tricks, so I don't think we're dying in this combat. But the question is, are these going to die, or do they have ways to save them? I suppose they have Strafing Strike here, so they could guarantee to save one of these if they want. Yeah, and if you have any questions, Population Zero, after checking out the tutorial, feel free to ask them here in chat, or the subs Discord later, or... also, YouTube comments, I'm always reading those. How have my viewership numbers changed? My average concurrent viewers under Runeterra are about 60-ish% of 60-ish% of what my viewership was under Magic. My subscriber count is about 70% of what it was under Magic. What are we doing with you? I think we're just making spell mana with this.
Only fools play the hand they're dealt.
Oh, this doesn't do a thing when it comes into play under this mode. Right. I knew that somewhere in my head. That's fine though, because this'll play a blue card. So, leveled Twisted Fate doesn't play a card when you play him out, but he still plays through them when you play cards. We have a single combat here.
Soak it in.
I agree, Dark Confidant. Easily one of my favorites in the game.
Eyes up here, or I'll cut 'em out.
Expecting another piece of removal here from my opponent. I agree, Mickey Obo. I have retained more viewers and subs than I was expecting to maintain when I first made the switch. Very, very grateful to the folks that came along with me.
Hold it, partner.
So, unfortunately, stunning this doesn't stop these from fighting. They get to kill my Twisted Fate, but he at least replaced himself and did some damage and drew some cards. Opponent at 13 here. So we have another Prowling Cutthroat. And then I think do I want to pull Shark here? Oh, this is elusive. This is ephemeral. Damn it. I need to pay more attention. They really need to put some kind of purple hue around the cards in hand similar to Fleeting. Definitely messed that up. I should pay more attention, but I also think the interface could do more to help out. Okay, so I think we're starting with Twisted Fate again here, right?
Back at the table.
Yeah, and if you mouse over the card, it says ephemeral on the left, but it would be nice. You see how these fleeting cards have the green hue to remind me they're fleeting in addition to having the thing on the left? I think ideally we would have that with Twisted Fate. You know, yeah, maybe it's possible I'm supposed to unit first, so that way I could burst in response if they try and kill Twisted Fate. That's a good draw. So that means if they try and kill Twisted Fate, I can do this now. One more burst spell, please. Okay, and then this lets me stun this. Those are some big dogs. You're not wrong. So this is gonna kill this. This is gonna stun this. Another chain vest is good.
Got me.
So they have two fearsome blockers here, unfortunately. Are they dead? Is the Crackshot Corsair lethal? The Crackshot Corsair might be. Maybe I should have taken the other one of these instead. So if I do this, and then I do this, they block two. Oh no, they have this as a blocker as well. Gosh, we're so close to killing them. We're so very, very close. If they hadn't had that other chain vest, we would have stuck through. So, Elise makes a spider here. So they can block 3 things, and then they take 8. 9. Yeah, if we'd have killed this, we could have dropped two doggos as 6 attack things.
Back, heretic.
We have another chain vest to keep this alive.
Must end.
Alright, so trading for this is really good. Really close game here. We have a ton of threats left over now. So this is ephemeral, this is ephemeral, this is ephemeral. Ephemeral, for people new or not keeping track of the keywords, mean they only last till end of turn. So I don't want to play these out of my opponent's turn, notably. Messed that up a second ago.
Where do you stand on cold shots?
The pick a cards and Twisted Fates and other things just providing an endless stream of threats has been really good this game. Like we've been throwing our 1-mana things into the meat grinder constantly, basically, and our hand is still just loaded here. Yeah, Shyvana having tough is real good. Real good. Akira and Square7, thank you for the follows. I appreciate it. Welcome to Hooglandia. So they're gonna get to eat some of my Dorkos here. Gotta get my block on, because we're at 6. So this is gonna die to Strafing Strike here, I assume.
From the skies.
Like a fish in water.
You're short 2 champions for the Ash Ketch deck. That's a tough one. That deck really depends on its champions, I feel like. Wait, did we not draw a spell? Are we out of spells? Oh, we must have tossed. We must have tossed our other ones. That dragon does mean no judgment. Oh, our deck is empty. I wasn't even paying attention to our deck being empty. Yeah, we drew some cards this game, chat. Well, that's a successful first game. Wow, did they just BM us into making a misplay? Wow, that's so rude. Alright, well, our deck would have won that game if I would have played a 3 damage attacker out. I was talking to you all and laughing about the number of cards in our deck, and I didn't I elected not to play around double removal since they did the good game emote. So sometimes people are turds, and you let yourself get distracted by them being turds. That's fine. We don't really care. I don't really care about my rank. I mean, if I could have played around double single combat, though, Skullbone. I could have played another 3-power attacker out there, and then they would have died. Is the point. I think we're just, like, always full mulliganing for Jagged Taskmaster. You lose the game when you draw from an empty deck in Runeterra. Oh, grabbed the bottom of the window by mistake there. Fixed.
Ready, aim. I've got us covered.
So I can share my desktop here. I play with Runeterra in windowed mode. I played with most games in windowed mode, and sometimes when I go to grab a card from the bottom of my hand, I grab the bottom of the screen here like this, and it resizes it.
Finger on the trigger.
Easy open attacks here. Their start is very slow.
We shall pierce their treasonous hearts. The weak don't deserve mercy.
Do I set goals to reach in terms of ranks? I do not. So if you're new to the channel, a majority of what we play here on stream is viewer submissions, so I'm pretty happy just getting to whatever rank we get to each month. Do this to start, see what we get. Pool Shark and see what fleeting card we get.
I'll shoot the wings off a bilge wasp.
Someone deserves your bullet, girl.
I let myself get BM'd out of the game, Landon, so. Huh? What do I want to attack with here? I feel like I just kind of want to clear some bench space. No, they did it a few times. They did it a few times and I was laughing about something, so it's whatever. It's really not a big deal. I think I'm going to attack like this and then probably get Prowling Cutthroat down here as well.
Captain's orders. Bullet to the...
I don't mind clearing out bench space. I don't mind getting some damage marked on them.
Please, betrayer.
I really don't think decking out's a problem. Like, the last game's a good example of why you probably shouldn't worry about decking out, because, like, if you're going to deck out, you should probably be winning that game anyways, and, like, we would have won that game if I'd been paying attention. So don't make changes to your deck to make up for the fact that you made a misplay. Instead, just play better next time. I think I'm going to Prowling Cutthroat into pass here, bank some spell mana. I have both salvage and pick a card for next turn to use spell mana with, so banking some of it to make a decision later sounds great.
Eyes up here, or I'll cut him out.
I'll cut him out. Play Spooky Poro, because I don't mind trading him in combat here. They might also just attack with their Fearsomes, though. One of the reasons to not pick a card going into my opponent's turn is because if I pick a card going into my opponent's turn, what's the word I'm searching for? I could draw Jagged Taskmaster and then not be able to play it with Plunder. It could be worth just playing a 4-1 out here as a blocker. Yeah, that's true. Or 5-1, sorry. And I think I'm pretty happy letting them level their Kalista here and just trading off these boards. TBS Coke, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think I'm pick a carding here. We're gonna have 7 mana next turn. It's a lot of mana. Try and gas up. I need to remember to be conscious of the number of cards in our deck after last game. You have murdered my crack shot Corsair.
What's that noise?
What's that noise?
Hey there. Don't mind the knife.
I'd follow you anywhere.
Of course you would.
Look at this artwork, Chad. Look at him. Look at how scary he is.
We could use a bite.
And then this Taskmaster comes down, and not only is this a fearsome blocker, but it's going to make all of my 1-drop fearsome blockers now as well. Yep. This deck's actually awesome. It's been really sweet so far. So, we need to dodge their spider that shrinks our board. Their spider that shrinks our board is not great for us. Nocturne's almost not leveled at all. Their deck is mostly just a bunch of fearsomes. It's playing Nocturne as a fearsome as opposed to a Nightfall card, basically. That doesn't really matter though, right? We're gonna play this Prowling Crit there and then open on Lethal Elusives.
Lucky you. I'm the last thing you'll see.
I think they're just doing it to knock because they're dead. It doesn't matter.
You won't do that first.
Don't turn around.
That opponent was a very good sport. Appreciate a cheeky atrocity at the end. Nobody makes them bleed their own blood. Nobody. We've not run into Whale yet. Both Whale and Avalanche have been a little bit on the downswing lately. That being said, this is very likely Go Hard Twisted Fate, which I assume is going to be tough for us. The Mulligan Stygian, looking for another higher impact card. Definitely keeping Aristocrat, Jagged, Stalking Shadows here. Morning Blevins. If you think this deck is sweet, you're right. I can't take credit for it myself. This is one of the many viewer submissions we play on this channel. Not Lampton, it was Landon. Was it Landon in chat? Username's Blur. Sent this core in, and it's been really reasonable so far. Interested to see how we do against this. I imagine Shadow Isles and Twisted Fate's gonna be real bad for us.
I must get out of here.
That being said, this is one of our better starts here, right? Like, we're attacking on evens. I have Jagged Taskmaster on 2. You think this deck is sweet? Then you are right. Exactly. Nice. Poorly is the expected outcome. Yep. Hey, look, they burned a Go Hard. They also burned an Atrocity. Hey, Witch Huckerin, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. Welcome everybody hanging out this morning, by the way. If you're new to the channel, like Witch there, I stream full-time here on Twitch. I'm here doing Runeterra stuff every, like 5 to 6 days a week. I'm here most mornings. We do usually 2 different decks per day, a lot of which are viewer submissions, like I mentioned. So you get a lot of variety here. I also have a YouTube channel that you should check out where I post highlights every single day of the best decks that we play, as well as full stream archives. I assume this emote is they're about to whale me. Make it rain. Make it rain. Some things die while others feel the pain. Make it rain. This feels like white weenies. It does, Bushies. That's a really apt comparison for Magic. Magic peoples. Very, very white weenie-esque. Second Jagged Taskmaster here is real good. That's a good read, Erdian. Atrocity likely means Ledros. Okay, play a Twisted Fate and red card my board so I can gold card your Twisted Fate. Thanks.
Store the rations! Shackle the prisoners!
Deal me in. Who says I don't share?
I think I'm gonna pick a card here too. We'll have 1 mana banked plus 6, so good chance we can spend it all next turn. I mean, we aim to please here, Dark Confidant. Or should I with that play, should I Stalking Shadows and then play a 1-drop off of it and then open attacks next turn? I have pretty good open attacks regardless. I'm gonna pick a card and make Twisted Fate extra scary.
You won't feel it first.
So Touch Unfortunate here, won't be able to play all 3 of these. Do a pump spell? Glimpse, sure. That's a mistake too, right? They should block the 3/1. Yes, yeah, Jagged Taskmaster makes at least make bigger spiders. Because of that everywhere keyword.
Keep up, keep up.
Keep up, keep up. Memories, all alone in the moonlight. Do 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 do.
I'm always up for a round or two.
I think I let this die. I think 2 extra attack is fine. I think I want to Fading Memories the Zap here to get more card advantage.
I know what lurks in the shadows.
Yeah, Stalking Shadows represents a Twisted Fate drop. And this kind of does too if I copy Zap. Would not be surprised to see them start with Go Hard on Twisted Fate here.
You pay! I talk to spirits! These are my rules!
These are my rules. I'm gonna level Twisted Fate. I give up the Ephemeral this turn, but getting a level Twisted Fate guaranteed seems worthwhile.
Looks like I'm on a hot streak.
Because even if they kill this Twisted Fate, my next Twisted Fate will be leveled. The KDA cards have a region associated with them, Heinstein. Look at the bottom center of the card. So there's five different regions on the 5 KDA cards. Also worth noting that leveling this here gets it that 2nd point of toughness when it levels up, so that way that means it's able to
Kill you, I don't fortune!
I never.
I guess they killed Twisted Fate because they expect me to red card here and kill it anyways, so I guess that's fair.
people person.
They were expecting me to red card and kill it anyway, so they killed it themselves. Whereas, if they Croaker this one, my red card would have killed their Twisted Fate and this Croaker, and they'd only have a 2-1 left. So I think their play was very reasonable there.
A game. Go on then.
So this is going to die because it's ephemeral, but we'll have really good open attacks here.
Give us some room.
Whale's a little bit sad here, but even if they whale, we're pretty okay. Like they can whale, kill these, block here. This deck's been gasoline so far. The white weenie comparison to like go wide and keep lots of cards flowing is great. This might be the best pick-a-card deck I've played to date. Having 18 1-drops in your deck makes pick-a-card real busted. Twisted Diana's a very good Twisted Fate deck, but I don't think it's quite as good a pick-a-card deck as this one is. I think I'm full mulliganing looking for Jagged Taskmaster always. So, Twisted Diana has the upside of being able to protect Twisted Fate with Bastion, which is very good.
Hey there. Don't mind the knife.
Maybe this is better to lead on against a Go Hard deck. Probably should have assumed they were a Go Hard deck with these champions.
I know what lurks in the shadows.
I don't change fate, but I can feel it.
Spooky spider.
First.
You dare!
And remember, to be fair, we just beat the SI control deck, but I also would be surprised if that's the norm for this deck. I would bet this is a challenging matchup, but I would not be surprised if we die here. Wondering why do those champions assume that it's a go hard control deck? Because I'm familiar with the metagame of this game. This region combination with these champions is go hard controls the most popular combination of those things.
Game. Go on then.
One of the things that Runeterra really allows you to do by seeing this information to start is it allows people who are familiar with the metagame in Runeterra to really have an advantage in these best of one games. It lets you make mulligans and gameplay decisions early, knowing what to expect.
Here is assistant!
And this pick-a-card's fleeting, so I guess we're doing that this turn.
Bounty board knows me name.
So Elise in general, Elise is an example of like a really flexible champion. Elise basically goes in everything ranging from aggro to control. Very, very, very flexible card.
What's your hurry?
I think I'm okay with this dying to go hard.
It will all be over soon.
Yeah, that's a good observation too. So like, based on these champions, the way they're ordered here, we know they're playing 3 Twisted Fate, 2 Elise, 1 Gangplank, We know that they're not playing 2, 2, and 2 of these champions, because if they had 2 of all of these champions, they would be ordered 2 mana, 4 mana, 5 mana champion. That's true. They could technically be 2, 1, 1, but they're almost assuredly 3, 2, 1. I don't want to red card this turn because I want to play out my fleeting cards.
Out before they know they're bleeding.
Yeah, the order matters here. Yeah, I think we're probably dead here. This red card.
They've made the most of it.
They're in a pretty high life total here still. I think we're a little bit fortunate to sneak past this archetype in the last match that we played.
Or I'll cut 'em out.
A game. Go on,
I
watch the
don't
ball.
know if double region cards make sense in the Vorthos of this game, so I don't know. I don't know if that's something I necessarily expect.
Let's do this.
Okay, double Jagged Taskmaster might drag us kicking and screaming over the finish line here.
You pay, I talk to spirits. These are my rules.
The weak don't deserve mercy.
Depends if they can level this Twisted Fate, we're gonna die real fast. Because we can't beat endless red cards. Yeah, so they're gonna go up to 6 on this next turn, so if they have a salvage, this is gonna level up.
Mercy. Curses.
Who even a draw 1 levels this here, right? Because they draw 1 for the turn. This is at 3. It's not bad. Splitting games against SI control feels reasonable, especially how many of our things die to deal 1s. So, Ezreal Swain has a lot of point in it, but it also doesn't have a lot of AoE, so we could end up being okay. I think I'm mulliganing these looking for a 1 mana, although we're attacking on odds. So attacking on odds means I kind of want to keep Elise, because we'll play Elise on there too, and then open attacks on 3. So maybe I mulligan Stalking Shadows to try and find a 1-drop here. I think that's the play. Get 3 looks at a 1-drop.
Hey there. Don't mind
So yeah, so this game is a good example of how I mulliganed was dictated by who was playing first. So because if I was attacking on evens, attacking on 2, I would have mulliganed this because my 2-drop was going to be Jagged Taskmaster. But because I'm attacking on odds, I want to go ahead and play this Elise out because I can play this on 2 and then have this on 3, which is great.
Open wide, sugar. The strong don't want mercy.
Yeah, that Thermo feels reasonable for us. We technically traded up on tempo there. They traded a 3 mana. They traded 1 for 1, but we traded 2 mana for 3 mana. Especially with another Elise in our hands here lying in wait. I think I need to develop my board here.
Nothing to fear.
If they pass again, I'll end the turn, but I don't think I can burn mana. My board's just not good enough there. just playing this out here so I can have a good open attacks next turn. Obviously, I lose the Nightfall trigger, but I think that's worthwhile. Yep. Need a pick a card here.
Soak it in.
Nah, I don't think this game's over by any means. If we find a pick a card and gas up, we're fine. Just like we drew it up.
They don't know what they're up against. I thought you'd never ask.
Keep up, keep up.
Keep up, keep up.
Sounds dangerous.
I'd like to block.
Try again.
Read. We're gonna get flocked here. It's unfortunate. We were one off. So, flock deals 4 damage to a stunned or damaged unit. We're getting real close to getting him leveled.
Game. Go on then.
Go on, then.
We playing bilge rules, son?
Bilge rules, son. I did that to start because if I hit Jagged Taskmaster like this, I want to play this as opposed to playing another Full Shark. But third Static Shock? Yeah.
The weak don't deserve mercy.
Hey, so we get to draw 3 cards this turn, so we played 2 Pool Sharks last turn. So again, like, they had 3 Static Shocks, so we're not in an amazing spot, but, like, we also aren't just dead because we have so much card advantage going on. Yeah, I mean, like, and it's important to note, like, sure, our opponent's been fortunate to see all these Static Shocks so early, but, like, we're also super in this game, right?
Born a patrician, I became a soldier.
Yeah, imagine if they're, like, their draw ahead and had all of these Static Shocks in it, like, the position we'd be in. Kind of. Their average card quality is really high. I think we're unfortunately gonna get beat here, but definitely we played a game despite their hand being very good.
I will break them.
I'll shoot the wings off a bilge wasp.
Someone deserves your bullet, girl.
Watch and learn. Nailed it.
Believe it or not, I don't play Craft, so it's wherever you left it, my child.
That egg, did it move?
We have not played Vlad Soraka.
Destination in sight. Bring these lands to their knees.
Game. Go on then.
Go on, then.
I'll shoot the wings off a bilge wasp. Someone deserves your bullet, girl.
We might not win this one, but it's gonna be close.
Send them to the drink.
You dare oppose Noxus? Counterattack!
You are currently subbed half quarter. If you get an advert while subbed, please report it as a bug to Twitch. I unfortunately have no control over that.
Me gauntlet.
I will let my partner rep know. Twitch did send me an email about rolling out some type of new ad-related thing. Yeah, I agree, Limpton. I definitely had low expectations going into this set, and I've definitely exceeded them. Like, obviously we're gonna die here, but again, like, the context and how we're dying is really important, right? Like, they're at 4 this game, and they needed triple static shock to be here.
Fire! For Noxus.
The context around the loss or the win is important. I think we're just full mulliganing for Taskmaster again. Pretty sure that's my game plan. $18 drops. Give me one of them. It's also kind of funny that people's mulligan expectations against what we're playing right now are probably going to be pretty off, considering, like, my opponent's deck and I are playing the same champions, but our decks are very different almost assuredly.
That egg, did it move?
Quite the dish, aren't you?
Yeah, I agree, Ayumi. We were talking about that. The volume of static shocks that you drew is definitely something that was relevant there.
Hush now.
It might be wrong to hook this, so I'm not gonna get to plunder now, which is unfortunate.
Lady Elise, please take me home.
Hush, my sweet. It'll be over soon.
We were 90% to draw 1 drop on 1 with that hand. Sure, that seems like a good metric. Glimpse could be better than salvage. Yeah, I can see that.
Be nothing left when I'm done.
Never lost a
So this won't kill this to the spell shield, but it'll pop this in their keg.
I'm a people person.
for opening on attacks here. I could go this into this now. I don't hate that. It gives me a full board of 6 to attack with, and they'll kill at least one, and I'll play this post-combat.
What's that noise?
What's that noise?
Fool.
A game. Go on then.
That's a good observation. We did feel like we were light on spray fin hits. I guess this is bad to develop this way if they have Twisted Fate. It's also not stellar into this, because this means they could block Elise here. Yeah, salvage being a decking risk is a real concern too. We had that issue in one of the games that we played already. Watch out for go-hards. What does that mean? Can you tell me what actionable thing I should be doing to, quote, watch out for go-hards?
Suppose you want in on this.
Suppose I should leave you be.
The sea beasts will fear us.
You lose the game if you go to draw from an empty deck in Runeterra. So salvage into pick a card levels Twisted Fate here. What was that, Sage Tech? You said the Simpsons did it already? That's interesting. Coach Berg, thank you for the 20 months of Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. It's good to have you here. I think I want to pick a card going into next turn. I think I'm gonna crack shot
I'll shoot the wings off a
into
bilge
pick a
wasp.
card the
Someone deserves your
Stygian.
bullet, girl.
Time to get rich.
Okay, that attack seems bad. Got all these 2 power idiots. It's also really important to note how different the designs are in this game and how they impact the actual game as well. Because, like, saying a card is identical to a Magic design, like, at that point you need to point out that, like, Vengeance is a 7-mana card and Murder's a 4-mana card if you want to do comparisons between the two games. Just like Unsummon cost 1, but Will of Ionia has been nerfed to 5 mana. So, like, the one-to-one translations just aren't relevant because they're different games. Three, whatever, you get the point. Actually, and it's also kind of funny that, like, Murder at 3 mana is too slow to be playable in Magic most of the time. Yeah, I mean, spell mana is one of the many reasons why things just don't translate one-to-one into Runeterra for Magic.
Lucky you. I'm the last thing you'll see.
So these were all fleeting, so I have to play them out. Yeah, and, like, Vengeance is super playable at 7.
Deal me in. Something for all.
Yeah, this matchup seems real bad. The easy Swain matchup seemed reasonable. This one seems pretty rough to impossible. Obviously, you can get lucky like the first time we played it and run it down, but I think on average we're pretty behind there. Nato Malcuo, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Hoaglandia. full mulligan, looking for that Jagged again here. Technically I have 3 draws to find it because we're attacking on odds.
Lucky you. I'm the last one. I'll be quick.
We just play this defensively here. Where are you?
That egg, did it move?
Yeah, it's probably not a stretch to say, TDM, that this deck that we're playing has some pretty polarized matchups. I'm gonna go ahead and attack in here. If they want to block one of these, we can potentially kill this with red card. And even if they gem it back up, we can kill it with gold card. This gets in a pretty big hit of damage here, so giving them a gem is worth pushing 6 points there, I think. Yeah, probably not enough spells, J-Wall. I also don't think Fizz is better than either of the champions we're already playing. I think we're supposed to gold card here to play around Pale Cascade. Although I guess gold card doesn't even really play around Pale Cascade, because they'll just Pale Cascade their Solari Priestess. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna red card.
Never lost a fair game. Or played one.
They're wondering why no Yip. Well, Yip's not in the regions that we're playing. You can also see us play a Von Yip Jagged Taskmaster deck on my YouTube channel. Those two cards have really awkward tension with each other. Von Yip wants you to wait to play. Von Yip dictates that you wait to play your cards out, whereas Jagged Taskmaster wants you to play things to the board as quickly as possible. So they're kind of at odds with each other.
My spirit shines.
This attack seems real bad.
Please, I have connections.
Super happy with these trades. Like, they're not in a region that has a sweeper, so, like, it's not like I have to worry about... Like, if they were attacking in here and, like, setting up a whale, that seems okay to, like, clear out my thing that comes back, but... As is, this seems good for us.
Looks like trouble.
Sure, he's dead. Opponents' regions notably do not have sweepers in them. So I think we're gonna go Jagged, Fading Memories Jagged here. Just like get that extra Anthem in, and then we'll play this to draw 2 cards next turn.
The weak don't deserve mercy.
That's true. They could have a bunch of Static Shocks again.
We playing bilge rules, son?
Playing Bilge rules, son. I mean, Sure Shot Barrage is like 7, right? It's a lot of mana.
Vi stands for violence.
Alright, so they get to level Vi here. Get to gem her and then punch something. But we're drawing 4 cards next turn, so it could be okay here.
Headed in. Trouble coming at ya.
She's dead, Jim. You've killed her.
That's how we do it.
They're technically dead to open attacks here, but that's pretty unlikely to kill them, I think, so... Obviously, it'll depend a little bit on what we draw, but I think we're pretty likely to play to the board before we attack next turn. Morning, Cyanide. Morning, Sapo Team. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. Let's start with Elise, because Elise is technically like deploying 2 attackers to the board here, right? So if they deploy 1 blocker, we then have, you know, a bunch of lethal attacks. That's definitely a punish for not opening on attacks here. I'm gonna trade one of these for 6 points of damage for sure. Technically puts 2 points of damage on here too, so these trade decks turn if they attack in. Would not be surprised to see other healing like Guiding Touch though, so. Now, I think the Taskmaster's not really relevant here. I'm probably using this to copy an elusive. Wait. What did I draw for the turn? We had all 4 of these cards in my hand at the end of turn, right? And this says this is from Pool Shark? Am I missing something here? Oh! This is my card for the turn. It's just fleeting because we shall. Okay, never mind. So we didn't draw from Pool Shark this turn. Sorry, I was confused. A lot of 1-drops over a lot of turns. That's funny. That's kind of funny.
Hit 'em where it hurts. Eat this!
If I was a Pokemon, I would have just hurt myself in confusion there for reference. How has this deck felt? It's definitely earned the exceeded expectation stamp. Probably going to be the highlight for the day. We definitely have like 2 or 3 really good games. Man, it is super greedy that they keep healing this and not their face here. Feel like they feel way safer than they actually are. I think we actually pick a card to salvage because Fading Memories copying one of these elusives next turn actually sounds real good. Yeah, they could have Star Shapings rolled up. That's a good thought. Could definitely be indicative of that. Alright, do I want to copy this one or this one? I think I'd rather copy Zap. Zap's more expensive, but he lets me draw a card. Keep up, keep up. And then we're going to go super wide here again. We're just going to be attacking 6 wide. Yeah, I think they're pretty likely to have healing and interaction Lambton, so I think counting on that 1-drop to be lethal is pretty unrealistic. What do I think of Gwent? I've never played Gwent before, so I don't have an opinion on it.
A game. Go on then.
Look at, I think this might actually be the most adorable of the Poros. He's like, yeah, it's so scary. There's the star shaping we expected them to have.
Let's get him, crew.
Let's get him, crew. So I was going to pick a card this turn, but now we definitely Stalking Shadows, looking for another threat for the board, right?
Hey there. Don't mind the knife. You won't feel it first.
There's the 1-2 punch.
Yeah, we're playing Sinister Poro for the evasion. Playing something like Jagged Butcher would probably make us better against the SI control decks, but I imagine those are probably still bad matchups regardless. So, overall, I think I can definitely stamp exceeds expectations on this deck. The just general idea of having a ton of card advantage with endless 1-mana units ended up feeling super, super reasonable. This deck also ended up being incidentally very good at leveling Twisted Fate with our pick-a-cards and zaps and Stalking Shadows and Pool Sharks as well. I do think the SI control matchups, those Twisted Fate, Go Hard decks, those matchups are just going to be tough. Obviously, you're not 0% against it. We had a good draw and beat it one of the times in that set, but I don't really think there's meaningful changes you can make to make that matchup favorable or even 50-50 without gutting the core of this deck. So I think if you want to play this, you have to just accept that that matchup is bad. The idea of Glimpse over Salvage, I could see that to a degree. I also don't know if I'm in love with that change just because we kind of solve problems that we have with this deck by throwing a pile of units at it. And even though opponents are going to have profitable blocks a lot of the time, making them block our smaller things multiple times is valuable. I also think what Get Wrecked there said is true, which is the resource efficiency of 2 versus 4 isn't super relevant because our curve is so low. That being said, Glimpse does also have the upside of being findable with Zap Spray Fin, and Glimpse notably doesn't toss 2, which can be a concern because of how much we're drawing with this deck. We could risk decking out in some situations. So, I mean, Zap doesn't have that low number of targets. We have 6-8 things for Zap to get. I honestly think this tossing cards from our deck when we can risk decking on occasion is more of a concern than that. But overall, I think this deck is really sweet. I think this is easily the best Jagged Taskmaster deck I've played recently. I also think if you like to kind of juke people during mulligans, one upside this deck has right now is because of that Twisted Fate Go Hard deck that I mentioned is a bad matchup for us, you actually kind of get to get people during mulligans with this deck because we're the same regions and the same champions as that Twisted Fate deck is being played a lot in the ladder right now. So I think you're going to get to queue into some people with this, and they're going to mulligan thinking you're a Go Hard control deck, and then you're going to flood the board with Jagged Taskmasters and Dorks and kind of get them on their mulliganing decision because of the archetype that you're playing, which is kind of fun as a bait and switch kind of thing on the ladder. All right, we're going to go ahead and shift gears here for the second part of